Hey guys, and welcome to episode 10 on how to make a multiplayer survival arena game using Unity's Unet system. So this is not going to be like the usual videos. It's not going to have a specific topic. I was just making this video so we can fix and change a couple things in the game in order to make it a game. So currently I left it off with just parts of everything within things. Now I want to make it so it is a game. So each step will keep it in a game state, not just a developing state. So what I mean like that, it is always playable with the features currently in it. So let's get into it. Like I left it in the last video, it's in the way. The input menu is in the way. First things first, I want to be able to interact with it differently within the game and in the menu / lobby scene, because in the lobby scene we'll have full function of our mouse, and in the game it's an FPS. Your mouse is not visible, so we're gonna have to work around that. So first thing we're gonna do is make two scripts. Call this one, so we go ahead and create a script and call this one pause menu, and another one for settings menu. So these two scripts are basically be doing the same thing currently, but we're going to be adding on them separately when we have different pause menu things we want, like settings changes, and we probably need that in the settings menu as well. But we're going to need to at this stage, because we're going to be putting this settings menu on this game object, and this game object is disappearing when we are entering the main lobby in the game scene. So we have to have both of these, because this will persist in the main level, this will persist in the lobby scene. So open these two up. So go ahead and open. And first things first, these are pretty simple scripts. So all we have to do here is say, in the settings menu, we'll say get reference to the input menu. So let's make a serializable field, or public, doesn't really matter. Serializable field, game object, input menu. So all this is just this menu right here, and we don't need any of these. These are just going to be the button controls. So these are going to be the button functions we're going to put on the Unity UI buttons in our scene. So here we say public void, needs to be a public so the button can recognize it. So public void on click open settings, and this is going to say input menu dot set active, because it's going to start off default not active and we want to set it to active. So we say true, and we can copy and paste this and say on click close settings, and we'll say false. And in the pause menu, we want to get reference to the input manager, and go here, oops, yes, and we just want to get this, copy paste this over so we can find it. Input manager is equal to game object find object of type the input manager, so it will be finding this, but I think we can put this on, well, we're going to be changing this, but it doesn't matter because it's going to find it anyway. And here, so this pause menu is the one that we're going to be using in game, so we have to have a input function. So we're going to say if input dot get key down. Oh no, why am I using Unity? I'm going to say input manager dot get key down, and we'll say this is going to be the open pause menu, and here we're just going to say game object pause menu, so this is just reference to the pause menu itself, and we just say pause menu. Oh, we can't object, we can't make it the same as here because it's not a game object, so game object menu, or the pause menu object dot set active true, and we don't need a close button, or let's say if, so let's say pause menu and say if, so bool menu open, and we'll say if menu is not open, then we want to open it and say pause menu is equal to true, and else we want to say it is false. Or is it the other way around? No, so if it's not open, no, okay, yeah, it's all good. So if it's not open, we want to go ahead and open it. If it is open, then we want to go ahead and close the menu. And we can also have a public void on click close pause menu, so we can have both a button and a input to close the pause menu. Let's make this a serializable field, and let's go ahead and make this function. So first things first, let's turn it off inactive, and let's go ahead and drag. So this is going to have the settings menu on this, or let's put it on, yeah, let's just put it on here. So put the settings menu here, input menu, drag it in there, and let's go ahead and go to our prefabs, player, put the pause menu on him. I don't think this is the best place to put it, but we'll go ahead and put him there. And I don't think we can put him there. Input. Okay, we can't do that. So we'll have to say pause menu. We're going to say the pause menu is equal to game object dot find connection manager dot transform dot get child this is definitely not the way to go, but no, let's be serious. Okay, so game object dot find game, and we'll say this is going to be equal to input menu. Let's make sure we're getting it right. Input menu. And I'm pretty sure this will find inactive objects. So let's go ahead and try that. So this doesn't need to be serializable. Let's make it so we can check. Alright, so we go ahead and put the pause menu on the player. Okay. Now we need a button on this panel that will open the settings button. So we'll just have a panel. Now let's just put it straight on the canvas. UI button. Take it straight to the top left, and we'll call this one settings button, and the text will be settings. Text. Alright. So this button is gonna have the, do we put it on here? Which? Alright, so we'll drag canvas onto here, and that didn't drag the canvas. Settings menu on open settings, and let's try that. Click, it opens it up. It's not very visible. We could probably just change it with graphic panel, change the alpha to not being see-through. I just changed this by going to the inputs menu, game object, and go to the image script. So this will be the initial panel. If it's not labeled on yours, it's the initial panel, not the canvas. Go to the panel, and by default it's like see-through. So the alpha, so RGB is the colors, and the A is the alpha. So we'll just turn that up to max so we can't see it. So we can not see through it, sorry, and close that. Try it again, and now it works there. And while I'm here and checking it, we have to add a input manager key. And before I leave this script, and I'm not leaving it now, but let's just do this. So buttons key is equal to key code dot, we're gonna make this one escape, and I just realized the other button that is escape is the connection manager. So see, this is why it's not a normal video. We're gonna be going through every little thing. So here we can go ahead and remove this, and we'll have a button in the pause menu. And where were we? Input manager, and we'll say take this, put it here, and we'll say it is equal to escape. And wait, yeah, okay, no, okay, we'll go back to it. So here, escape, we can change it to 7. We'll make it escape. And now we need a close button, and it could just be a little X here, or you can click this again. You know, I don't need this. Okay, no, I'll need it. Okay. No, I don't even need this. So we'll have a bool here, is open on click settings. If not open, then we want to set active. We don't need this. This was space. And else input menu dot set active false. And oh no, we do need this. And before I do this, so in the pause menu we're gonna have to do this as well, and in the settings menu as well. So when we are closing it, we have to say it is false, or else we're never going to be able to open it again. And here, so we needed them after all. Alright, so here we say is open is true because we just opened it, and we can go ahead and paste that here, and we'll say this is false. And simple buttons on the input menu, add UI button to the top of it. Let's make it a little smaller. You can have an X or whatever button here. I'm just not going to name it. Or do I have an X? I'll find an X eventually, but for now I'm just going to say X. I'll cheat and just say this one's X. Call it X. There's not call it X, but make the text X so it looks like a close button. And on the button function, all you have to do is drag over the settings menu on click settings, and make sure this it's missing. So remember, because we renamed it, we have to go back to the other settings button that we put the other script on, the other menu button script on, and we have to change it to the new on click settings. So it was just a name change, but it is missing. So now we have to change to the one we have currently. And yeah, that's all. So we don't need a close button at all. It closes it for us, so it checks if it's open. So go ahead and take this way, make sure it's working now. Up here, close settings, and we click this, it's open, no, closing, clicking that button, everything in here works. Cool. So that's out of the way. Now we need to go to the we have to go to the canvas, and I think, is this the health bar? Let's take this way. No, what's this? Oh, this is the input menu, the lobby. Oh, player HUD. I'm so stupid. So in the player HUD, we can either make a new game object that is on a different canvas, or we can make a game object of the menu game object here. So let's turn this off and just say, actually no, what am I doing? Actually no, never mind, I'm going crazy. We don't need this path. Okay, so here, alright, let's see if this works. So in the in-game, see if it works in-game. So create a room, press escape, and we don't get the reference. Okay, it's not finding it because it is inactive, I believe. or I'm not naming it properly. Or I can actually say, let's say, don't call this canvas, and we'll say input menu canvas. And because it's, so let's go into the game. It is open, so it is on. So let's say we find the input.menu canvas dot get child dot transform dot get child 0 and dot game object. No. So it is finding the first child, and that's going to be the game object. Let's make a new game object. And yeah, there we go. So it finds it. So you can't do the direct find of the inactive. So if it's inactive in the scene, it's not going to find it. So we can work around it, just not find that object directly. We just say, yeah, it's over there. We're just pointing the finger and saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the game object that I want. It's not active, but it's there. I swear, it's invisible, but it's there. I looked weird. I was just pointing at a wall. I was doing the actions for it. Okay, so that's the pause menu. Oops. Now I want to fix up a couple script things. So what was I doing here? I don't think we ready. Okay, so here, as I mentioned in the last video, we need a get mouse button up, and that is completely easy. We can basically just copy this button, this function, and say get key up, and instead of get key, we just get key up. Easy. And we just say here, copy this over and say get key up. Easy. Easiest fix that we can do. Easiest implementation of that. And so we just now have two functions. Let's separate these. So this is button down, button up. Cool. Now we're done here. Cool. And in the play stats, I realized it is a humongous thing, and it doesn't need to be. I have no idea what I was doing. So I'm here to make it smaller. You don't need to do it, but it's a lot easier. So the best script is a script that anyone can read properly. So I don't mean it's easy, but it's you can see what you're doing. You know, that's how I felt. Like if you're writing a code for someone, it should be readable or legible, I should say. Silly English. So we're basically here. We just need to create a function, and just like the if you remember in the first video, and that was a while ago actually, in the second video, we worked with the rotations, and we had to clamp the rotation so it didn't go lower or higher a certain value. We can just do it here instead of having to have all this writing. So we'll say float. So because each of these are floats, if you can remember, and we just say check mins and max, and this takes in a float, which is the initial value that we want to check, and integer, that is the minimum, and int the maximum. And here we just say if value is less than or equal to max, we want to say value is equal to max if the value is greater than or equal to the min, and I realize this is probably backwards. Value equal min. So let me go through this. So if it's greater than or equal to max, no, okay, it's all good. That's how it's meant to be. And we want to return the value of that. So I'm not sure performance wise if this affects much. I don't think so. It'll be like 5 more calculations. Yeah, it's not much. It should be fine. So here we can just implement it. Here. Alright, so we'll say synced health is equal to checks min value, and we want to check, so this is the initial value and we want to get the, so this will be minimum of 0 and the maximum will be maximum health. And we can take this away, so we take we make 5 lines into 1 line, and we just go ahead and do this for the rest. So I'll fast forward it here. And we can go ahead and do the same for the health fall rates. So now it is a lot smaller. So I just took away like 50 lines and made it into 10, which it just saves you time. So when you look back to this, you'll be like, well, that's a lot of things. What the hell is this doing? Now it is just simple. In 10 lines you can see what is happening instead of 50, and we can be done with that. And we need to have a settings menu in the game itself. Okay, so that's what I didn't want to set the menu in the screen. Okay, that's what I was trying to do. So we do have to go into the player HUD system. So close this up, open the player HUD system, drag it into the scene, and we want to create a UI panel, and we want to create a pause menu. Oops, what's it? Drag this down. So we just want to create a simple pause menu of having to leave the game or going to inputs. Put it in the middle, and here we'll just label it, say text, take the top, center it, and say pause menu, and probably bump up the font size. And here we're gonna have 2 buttons for now. Button number 1. Okay, so we could probably make this smaller. Oops. Center it. There. Okay. So this button is going to open the input menu button. Yeah. And we want to have another button that is going to open disconnect from the scene. And we can just add straight up the connection manager to that button and go to leave room, drag that down, and we'll just give it space for more pause menu things for later. So here, disconnect, and let's go ahead and make this image actually a little red, so you know this is the disconnect button. So let's just drag that down so you don't accidentally press it here. Yes, okay, that will work. So now instead of this being set, this being this object, will come back to its. So this is going to be in the player HUD system. Pause menu. Title. Just want to. It's good to name things for now. Alright, so that's a simple pause menu. Oh, I didn't even label this. Inputs menu. Okay, so this button is going to open the input menu. So here we're gonna get a different object and say this game object is the input menu object, and instead of the pause menu here, this is going to be the input menu that we want to find. And when we set the pause menu, it's not going to be the object, so we have to say find the object. So game object dot find, and how do we find it? How are we going to find it? So find so it's in the player setup UI. Wait. Am I going crazy? Didn't that say UI system? Okay, I'm going crazy. So we want to find the player UI dot get dot transform dot get child so 1 easy dot game object. And okay, so on the start, so if input dot object is active self, so if it is currently active, we want to say input menu dot active dot set active false. So we want to start it off as false. So if it accidentally you join a room and then you quickly go into the settings menu, we want to close it. So if it is active we want to close it, so we can start fresh in this one. So just like this settings menu script, we'll say we can just take this whole thing. And then we just need to change this for this, this for this, and on input button here. So let's just open this so you can see what I'm doing. This pause menu, so this button, zoom out a little bit. Yeah, whoa, I'm really zoomed in there. So this pause menu, this button is, so where do we have the pause menu script? I put it on the character, which sucks. Why does it need to be on the, I'm so stupid. Okay, it doesn't need to be on the character. So bad, remove this, remove it from the character. So remove the pause menu from the character, the player, and put it on the player HUD system, pause menu. And then we can just drag that over to the button here, pause menu on, click settings, and I didn't need this. Oh no, I said we're gonna have this anyway, so we have to have a close button here as well. Button up top. Where's this gonna work? Doesn't look good there. What if I just made? No. What's happened? Okay, it just disappeared. What the hell? So we can drag this button to the, screw it. Let's put it on the top right because we're fresh, we're cool. And again, cheat and just put an X there. And on this button we have the pause menu, on click pause, close pause menu. Okay, hit apply and take this away. So set it active and then apply again. Close this. Alright. Let's hope this works, guys. Create a room. Press escape. Alright. We'll have to freeze the rotations here so it doesn't move randomly. So we go to the input menu and it works. It's there, but it's behind it. So what we have to do is just close it. So here we just say pause menu dot set active false and we want to set it active when we close it here. So pause menu is open here, is open here, and it's closed here. Alright. Easy fix. No. Yes, it is. It will work. It will work, guys. Believe. Cool. And we close it. Ah! Close. Why are you not closing? Because it gets destroyed. Of course. And you know what? We can just put an listener to that. Wow, this one's taking a while, isn't it? Okay, so we'll just add a listener on start. So we'll say button. Oops. And we have to be using Unity UI, and we'll say button, and we'll say close button is equal to input dot get component, no, get dot transform dot get child drag this into the scene. Pause menu. Input menu. Okay, so no, I didn't need this at all. So the input menu, so 0, 1, 2. Second child dot get component button dot remove. Yeah, nah, let's not remove it. Let's just add a listener. That's what I always do, that on click. Let's remove all listeners from it. Remove all the listeners on it. No. Ooh. Let's not remove anything. We'll just say add listener, delegate to the onClick function. Easy. Alright, so I think that will finish off today's video. So in the next video, this is definitely not the users accounts video that I promised in the last video, but that is coming right after this one. So let's just test this before we go. Inputs menu, close. Inputs menu, close. Input menu, close. Disconnect. And I get. Alright. Don't go, guys. Don't go. Stay. Why are you not disconnecting? Connection manager, leave room. Apply. Remove. Go back. Disconnect. Disconnect. Okay, don't do that. Alright, don't go. We'll just have to do another one here. Disconnect button is equal to pause menu (0, 1, 2) Cool. And we'll say on click is equal to connection manager. Connection manager dot public static dot leave room. Wait, inside. All right. Oh man, okay, we can't do that. We just get reference to the connection manager. It's all good. Here, get connection to the connection manager. Con manager is equal to game object connection manager. Say con manager dot leave room. No errors. Everyone should be happy now. Take this away again. And this is gonna be our final goodbye, guys, because this is going to work and we're going to end the video as soon as it works. So thank you guys for watching and goodbye.